All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Would you please do the roll call?
Phil,
Yes.
John,
Here.
Heather,
Here.
Marita,
Excused.
Jim,
Here.
Chris.
Here.
Thank you.
Do we have any amendments to the agenda for today's meeting? Okay, other than moving which one was it again, Liz, that we need to move?
The Catholic Church, which
The
is
Catholic Church we're gonna move that to the end of the,
action
um,
items,
uh,
just in case we don't
public
get this
items.
figured
Okay,
out.
just in case. All right. Do we have any other amendments? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do we have any amendments to the minutes from the previous meeting? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, moving on to election of officers. It's that time of year again. Nominations for chair?
I nominate you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, nominations for vice chair?
I nominate Heather O'Neill.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nomination for secretary?
Nominate Jim.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Are there any public comments that are unrelated to agenda items for today's meeting? Hearing none, we'll move on to the consent calendar. We have acceptance and scheduling of an application from Madeline Valentine for a conditional use permit to allow a private school in a single-family residential district at 607 Excel Street. Motion to accept that for the next meeting?
Mr. Chairman, you
Yep.
usually just do them both.
We can do them all just once?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Unless there's unless you want
Yeah.
to take one out and discuss it separately, but otherwise just go ahead and do it as one.
Okay. We also have acceptance and scheduling of an application from John and Miriam Swanson for a special use permit to use a portion of borough-owned right-of-way as a driveway at 1400 North Nordic.
I'll make a motion to accept both of the items on the
Okay.
consent calendar.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's move on.
Mr. Chairman, the architect for the Catholic Church is on, so if you want to maintain the same order, we're good to go.
As long as everybody else is okay with that? Okay, sounds good. Consideration of an application from St. Catherine of Siena Catholic Church at 306 North Third Street for a variance from the 20-yard front setback requirement to allow construction of a church and hall within 12 feet of the front property line, North Third Street, and 7.5 feet from the front property line, Dolphin Street. A variance of the 20-yard front setback requirement to allow construction of a 72 square foot covered porch within 5 foot of the front property line on Dolphin Street, and a variance from the 35% maximum lot coverage requirement to allow for coverage of 40% of the lot. Do we have any public testimony? Okay. If we have no public testimony, then do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the following variances for St. Catherine of Siena Catholic Church located on 306 North Third Street, along with the findings of fact and conditions approval presented.
A second? Second. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, I don't see any issues with this myself, so I'm in support of it.
I don't see any issues and I'm glad to see them finally moving forward on this. So it looks good. So
Well, from Texas, may I speak? I just want to publicly say that the outpouring of help for the distant architect just replaced something here that is an heirloom to Petersburg. One is getting done, and I've really been wonderfully surprised by that support. And secondly, what a town to live in. Thank you for your help to get these people their spiritual home again. I just want to say those two things before you move on.
Thank you. Please do the roll call.
Heather,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Phil,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Review and recommendation of an application from Ron and Ann Lausch for purchase of borough property at 1020 Sandy Beach Road. Do we have any public testimony? Hearing none, do we have a motion? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Ron Lesh. I'm an applicant for the purchase. In the event we can purchase said property, we would like to leave the land in its present state until the housing plans proposed by numerous parties, including Skylark, Clinket Haida, and the borough move forward. These developments will significantly affect how we use the property. The property we hope to purchase is our effort to control how our neighborhood is developed into the future. So we would like to delay these actions. If such a delay will not be permitted in order to allow the sale, we would propose to insert a driveway into the property. And that would be the development we'd request. And then on your action statement on the application for finding of fact, number 4, it states the assembly should consider initiating a rezone of the property. We had initially requested that the property be rezoned to single family residential. We withdrew that request and would like it to remain rural residential. So in your action, we would ask that number 4 be stricken and leave the zoning as it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I move to recommend the sale of the property with the attached report.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Findings of fact.
We approved a version of this already, right? Of this proposed sale?
No, I think it's been brought up before, but
And
it was
then
never,
tabled?
it was,
Okay, they tabled.
yeah.
Findings came in the handout we received before the meeting.
I was trying to see what he was commenting about the development. Yeah, it looks pretty straightforward to me. Further discussion, comments, amendments, anything? Roll call, please.
Chris,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Phil, Heather,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Consideration of an application from Matt Lichtenstein for a variance from the side yard setback requirement to allow construction of a deck walkway 5 feet from the property line at 405 Lumber Street. Do you have any public testimony? Please step to the mic and state your name.
Hi, I'm Matt Lichtenstein and I'm 405 Lumber Street.
Okay,
And yeah, just if anyone has any questions, I'm here, but the gist is I'm essentially rebuilding the deck that's there, a little bit bigger on the back, and just 10 inches more into the setback than it already is. It's already in the setback as it was built when we bought it 20 years ago.
but
What we
it'll
did-
still remain 5 feet or less. from
Yeah,
the property
yeah, it's
line.
basically
Or
like,
5 feet more rather.
it's like 4'2" from the, I'm sorry, whatever.
5'2".
My math isn't working, but yeah, basically it's gonna be 10 inches more into it, but that would be a maximum of 5 feet. Yeah, so it's,
So you're not any closer than 5 feet. to the
yeah,
property.
it's 4'2"
Okay.
wide right now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be 5 feet wide.
Yeah.
And the house is 10 feet from the property line.
Okay.
so, and then, yeah, that's about it.
All right. We have a motion.
I do if I can find it. Mr. Chair, I move to approve the application from Matt Lichtenstein for the variance from the side yard setback requirements to allow for construction of a deck walkway within 5 feet of the property line at 405 Lumber Street, along with the findings of fact and conditions of approval as presented. Mr. Chair.
Second.
Roll call, please.
John,
Unless you got discussion.
I don't
Looks good to me.
It's just basically replacing what's there,
Yeah.
so.
I don't see a problem with it.
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Phil, Chris,
Yes.
Heather.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Lastly, we have a consideration of an application from Formosa Holdings LLC for a variance from the side yard setback requirement to allow for construction within 5'2", 4'2" with eaves of the residential property line at 500 Wesley Street. Do you have any public testimony?
Mr. Chairman, sorry,
Yes.
I just noticed that that shouldn't say 4'2" with eaves. So if you could strike that out.
That can be stricken? Okay.
Yeah, I think I copied from the last time we went around with this and I should have updated that.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Wes Davis, Hermosa Holdings. Yeah, we're just looking for the 5'2" from the edge of the building to the residential line.
Okay.
We've already been, through this process once. We just didn't realize it expired.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we just resubmitted everything and you guys have any questions?
Thank you. We have a motion.
Mr. Chair, I do. I move to approve the application from Hermosa Holdings LLC for a variance from the yard setback requirements to allow for construction of a 3-bay mechanics shop within 5 feet of the property line at 500 Wesley Street, along with the findings of fact and conditions as presented. Mr. Chair.
Thank you. You have a second? Discussion. Looks pretty straightforward and
It's the same as last time, right? Yep.
so. All right. Roll call, please.
Phil. Jim,
Yes.
Heather,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to non-agenda items. Any commissioner comments?
I'm glad to be back.
Yes, I'm glad you're back. We're still one seat short, but,
Yeah. Any takers out there?
yeah. Staff comments.
The next meeting is November 12th and just curious if we'll have a quorum.
I will be here.
Excellent. Excellent.
All right.
Yeah, just since we're one short, it's great to have folks be here if they can be, since we do need 4 for any action.
All right. We have a motion to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.